Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room. Come on in. I saved everybody a spot. And welcome back to 100 Ways to Use Scraps. We are on project number 61, which is taking us right into the new section, tags and tag variations. So I often wonder, what is it that actually makes a tag feel like a junk journal tag? It can't just be because it's a piece of paper with a hole at the top, or this shape at the top. It can't be that. There needs to be more, because a tag is a tag is a tag. I know it's like one of those things that feels obvious when you see it, but it's actually made up of a bunch of little design choices that we see repeated across the junk journaling community. A classic junk journal tag isn't about, there's like no strict rules. Here are some characteristics that tend to show up time and time again. So a classic tag shape, generally a tall, narrow rectangle, and it has two corners cut off at an angle at the top, and then there's generally a hole at the top, quite often with a reinforcement like this. Typical classic tag. I have a freebie, we'll talk about this in a minute, in my coffee shop. Let's talk about size. There's no official standard, but most fall into like three main size ranges. This one here is a 2 by 3.5, and like I said, it's not exact, but typically this size, and this is often referred to as a luggage ticket. So if you picture, you write your name and your information on and attach it to your luggage, that would be a luggage tag. I said ticket, I meant tag. So 2 by 3.5. And then this seems to be the most common, 3 by 5.5. It's not my go-to, but it is typically standard tag size is 3 by 5.5, or something close to it, like a 2.5 by 4. So a little narrower and a little shorter, but this seems to be kind of classic size. I'll show you mine go-to in a second. And then this larger size, which is like a postcard size, a 4 by 6, we use these intentionally when we want a lot of writing space, or we want to add a particular photo or a quote, or we want to be a big impact on a page. Sometimes if it's a fold out or a tip in, we'll use something large like this as well. So here's my go-to size. I typically like something closer to this, or halfway in between these two. So I like the height of a 6-inch tag, and I like the width of a 3-inch tag. But 5.5 just looks a little short and stubby to me. I think I like this layer, or this size, more, because when you're tucking our tags into a pocket, which we often do, I just want, a good portion of that tag to show. And the shorter the tag, the more is covered up. Obviously that one's going to really hide, and then that one would be pretty obvious. But this seems to be my go-to size, and I'm going to be honest with you, I very rarely measure. I just go by eye. It's just a feel. It's just, you're kind of your go-to. I often don't have all my tags matching the same size in my journals. I'll have a variation of sizes throughout my journals. Quite often we just use a circle punch, or I'm sorry, a hole punch for the hole. Quite often it's reinforced with a paper reinforcement, or a like a sticker reinforcement, or an eyelet, or even sometimes you'll see them stitched. There's also this slotted type of hole, which is kind of my favorite, and that's this punch here. There's this classic reddish brown color. So yeah, there is a freebie in my coffee shop. It's been there quite a while. I think it's number 17, but I will link it below. And what I have are these strips, and they just have that little kind of old speckled look to it. And I've done it on a craft, a green, and a black. And then you can use your small circle punch, cut a circle out of there, and then once you have your circles, you can then punch a hole in the middle to get your reinforcements. Or if you have a reinforcement punch, you can just simply make those like that, and then you've got that red, that classic red color. What do we tie with at the top? We can use string, or a sari silk, or seam binding, or fabric strips, but typically We just like something that's not too thick, that's easy to tie, that looks pretty. Crinkled is nice. It depends on your style. I often also do tag toppers where I just simply fold it over and staple, and there's no hole at all. And that becomes the tag topper, just like that. So I would just staple right through there without tying something. We often just start with a vintage style paper or some sort of vintage design, which automatically to me looks like a junk journal tag. And then we can distress the edges using our distress inks. We can do sanding, we can do tearing. We just want it to be kind of imperfect, and just think of other papers you could use too to make it look old, like ledger paper and tea-dyed paper, those sort of things. Tags are generally functional and decorative. So a classic junk journal tag is rarely just a decoration and glued down in the book. It's typically something we can tuck into a pocket, clip to the side. You can swing it by hole where you punch the hole with a brad or something. It's interactive. It's not a static piece in our junk. I'm shaking the table. It's an interactive piece, meaning it can be picked up, moved around, and quite often we use them as journal writing spaces. So we'll have a decorative side, and on the back maybe tea-dyed paper or lined paper where you can do some journaling. There's something very special about writing a favorite quote or important dates or something a memory you just want to keep, about writing it on a tag, and then on the back of a tag, I should say, and then placing that in your journal. And then as you're flipping back through your journal, you pull that tag out, you turn it over, and you read the back. There's just something very, very special about that. Typically, I like to use a light cardstock for my tags, or a nice hefty scrapbook paper. Cereal boxes, all the box board, all of our retail packaging make really good tags, because typically the one side is like a craft color or a light color that can be written on. So I think that is also important to note, is what you're using for your base of your tag. So right today I'm using a craft colored cardstock. And I have found it's easier to glue your piece onto your paper and then cut, because if you try to trace it and cut, it never seems to work out. So I'm just going to line up one edge like that. There we go. So if I was going to pick a paper people, so that's a nice size, and then there's room for a sentiment or something over here. Now remember, we only want one focal point on me. Something like this. We'll see. I think I like those two items. Wide. Take some of that off. A little too tall, I think, but we're getting closer. And I do kind of like her head around this. So I'm going to take some off the top now. Let's see how this looks. There, I'm liking that. And it doesn't always have to be exactly centered. Like I said, you can do something off to the side, just do a strip. But we are just going to go with this for today. And then I have this, which is a good match. And I just want some sort of I don't know how big I want it. So a couple ways to do this. Fold it in half, feed it through the front or the back, depending on where you want the knot to show. So if I bring this around to the front, it's a little different with the slotted punch than the circle punch. Not a lot, just a little. So I have my, just always being gentle, little tugs at a time so you don't rip your hole there. So you can put two together to get some sort of a extra special bow thing going on. And now let's try something different. I have two ribbons in two colors. I'm going to just feed them from the back to the front. And I'm just going to tie it like I'm tying my shoes. Okay, so just the two tails, 2 bunny ears, whatever, like that. Also very pretty. That is really cute as well. It just depends on how much business you want going on in your journal. So lovely colors. I quite like it. But I am just going to do something small because of space. This is the section of the book where I said we might start putting things in pockets and whatnot, but I still have room. So I think I'm just going to keep her in here. Just because of space, right? Like I'm not going to add a pocket to every single page just to add our tags to, but for today we will. Normally I wouldn't staple a tag into my journal, but just for my book of ideas I will. But you might not want to do that if you're writing your instructions on the back of it. Okay, so cute. I like that. That's number 61. So there's a couple options. Okay, let's talk about shoulders, and then I'll let you go. Where did I first see this done? Donna, Twisted Paper Studio. Do you see the difference between the two? That's a better example. So it was this small shoulder I used on all of the tags, regardless of the size of the tag. And then when you do the other side, you have to flip this over so that you get the same angle and use the same cut. Now, so let's do that and I'll demonstrate. So here I'm just going to hold it, align this side up, align that side up. So if you have an old gift card or credit card or something, and then flip it over, go to the other corner, line up your top, line up your side, and then you'll have matching shoulders. Okay, like that. Now that is maybe hard to see. There we go. But if you wanted to do the larger, it does make a difference. So see the angle? I have bigger shoulders. So now you're going to have a smaller, a more narrow top. You flip this over, do my sides, line it up. Cut that one off. It's a different angle. It's larger. Now I have a bit of a pointier. So it's really preference. I prefer, depending on the size of the tag, I might prefer that. Now here's another way to do it. If you don't have one of these made up, just simply, let's pretend this is the top of the tag now. Just simply cut whatever you think looks good. Like angle your scissors whichever way you want. I think start with one. Go, yep, that looks good. Now take your little piece you cut off and flip it over. You have to flip it over and line it up the right way, because you could accidentally do it the other side and upside down. So now I'm corner to corner here, and then when I cut that, my corners are going to be matching. That's typically a quick way to match your corners or your shoulders. I call them shoulders usually on a tag. Okay, so that's another way to do it, and that's just by eye. So yeah, lots of different ways to do shoulders, but that is one way. So using your little template, or just simply cutting and then taking your corner and just flipping it over. Keep it upright, but flip it over, like top to bottom, but just flip it over to do the opposite corner, and then your little shoulders will match. Well, thank you for hanging out with me and crafting along, and I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow is 3 project day. Don't forget. All right, take care. Bye.